Good morning and welcome back. I'm about to head off on a solo adventure today to the highest point in Bali, that's Mount Agung. 3 kilometers high, 2 hours away from here. The time now is 11:30, so I need to get a move on because I'm fairly certain I'll be coming back pitch black. I've packed up everything in the Nmax, and this is what the Nmax is for. Bigger journeys in comfort, loads of storage, fully kitted out, got a rain jacket in case because the weather could be completely different up there and it could well be cold as well as wet. Plenty of bottles of water. May even see if I can get some Insta 360 footage as well. And finally, the one bad thing about the Nmax is, I hope you can see that, there are no circular bars to properly clip a quad lock on. So I've actually had to put my quad lock attachment on the handlebar. I think that should work quite well. Anyway, hit the road, let's go. I've pulled over with about 30 minutes to go. It takes so long to get anywhere. What would be a very simple journey in Europe or somewhere else is a proper mission in Bali. Getting there though, it's the first 40 minutes you're just in built up traffic, but once you get out of there, it gets less and less developed, and the little villages and developments become more and more sparse the further on you get. Feels like it's dropped probably about 8 degrees now. It feels relatively quite cool. It's about 22 degrees. I have witnessed one crash. There was a father with probably his 5-year-old slipped on some loose gravel and they both came off. They're both fine, but you see some things. This is an example of, I just wanted to walk through, an example of a fairly standard little development that you get all the way along in Bali, along the main roads. A few little houses, often about 10 to 15 little houses. And then just a very simple shop that sells the basics, a bit of food, some drink, often a bit of petrol on the side as well. I can see a little snooker table too, but that's fairly typical. So all the way along there are refreshments to get, there's fuel to get, it's fine, but I can feel like I'm getting pretty close now because the higher up you get, about every 10 minutes or so now, I can feel it noticeably drop in temperature. Right, refreshment had, feeling completely re-energized. It's a big improvement being on the Nmax. It has an extra level of comfort. If it didn't have the ludicrous aftermarket sports suspension, I can tell that would be a seriously good bike. Even now with the rock solid suspension, it's very, very nice on long distances. That extra physical size of the bike really does make a big difference. I haven't really had to stop at all, and I've been riding for about an hour and a half non-stop. It's a fantastic thing. I see why they're so popular here. Last 15 minutes to go. I probably stupidly just assumed that there'll be big roads signposted up to as close as the roads would go to the volcano, but in fact the roads actually get smaller and smaller, and now for the past 10 minutes or so they've just been single lane roads, and I'm now away from everything, all of the shops, the fuel stops. It's just proper farming around here. I can see a lady there with bananas on her head, carrying them. People have been collecting water here to water the plants and water the crops, although I don't think they need it because it feels like there's, well, up here in the mountains, there's just a constant stream of water and constant drizzle all the time. I'm not 100% sure where the volcano is, but if you just look around, you can see how undulating and how mountainous all of the scenery is around, and it's just covered in thick clouds, so I actually can't see that far ahead of me. But it's a stunning, stunning area. Really beautiful, just loads and loads of different crops everywhere. I can imagine it's just about the most fertile landscape you can get so close to the volcano, and possibly that's why the big developments, or the bigger developments, have stopped, because it's maybe too close to the volcano where it's potentially dangerous, because it is an active volcano, and that may be why there may not be any more buildings from here on in. But these are the little houses you can just see in the distance, and see down here where people just stop, have a lunch break I guess, and then get back to farming their crops. Beautiful area. 5 minutes away, but the weather's closing in so much and so quickly. Thunder, lightning, pouring rain now, roads getting smaller and smaller and more sketchy. But I have to carry on just the final 5 minutes just to see how far up I can get. The problem is, it's closed in so much, the weather, I can't actually get a view of where the volcano is. There's no signal at all here, so I'm really unsure about how close I am. But I've got to keep going. 5 minutes left. made it. I don't exactly know what I made it to. This says welcome to, I think, Mount Agung, so maybe this is the final bit. I'm freezing. I'm actually shivering now. It's really not borderline unpleasant, it's unpleasant. I haven't seen another bike for about 15 minutes or so. I mean, if this is the entrance to the national park, Mount Agung, it's definitely not a tourist attraction because there's just no one here at all. Relentless now, thunder and lightning. Yeah, I'm shivering, so I need to get back down. I've only got about 5% battery left on my phone to get back with sat-nav, and I've got 3 hours to get back. It is beautiful scenery, but it's just too cloudy for me to make a really good call on it. Feels like a great adventure though. I've loved it, but I'm desperate to get back. That felt like a huge mission. That was about 7 hours out in total, but 6 hours actually on the Nmax riding, and that's the biggest difference between the Nmax and the Scoopy. I could sit there in comfort, even with that suspension, and be totally fine for a whole day's riding. About 20% of the ride on the way back was off-roading. I don't know why Google Maps did it. I was doing some decently challenging off-roading to get myself back, which was a challenge, but it sent me on a beautiful route away from everything, which was great. I did check the MPG on the Nmax, the miles per gallon, just to see what it was like, because the Bonneville gets 45 miles per gallon to give some relativity, and the Nmax was 127 MPG. Completely phenomenal. Right, I'll wrap it up there. We're off to get a pizza. Thank you so much all for coming on. I'll see you in the next one.